Yo, it's Jeff Ross, Mike's hot, let's ride. Caffeinated kangaroo with the crew worldwide. From Passy to LA, we flip the script. Helping burnt out dads like a hustle shift. This ain't hype, it's purpose and play. Building biz with soul, the laptop dad way. Reels AI, freedom in your grip. With the boom sauce beat and a real talk tip. Hear the soul, let's bounce. Legend. That's the sound where kangaroos coach and kings wear crowns. Show boom sauce, baby.
All right. Well, welcome to tonight's call. Thank you very much for showing up and being attentive here and showing up. Thank you very much, whoever's joined us on the Zoom call. And you're more than welcome to come hang with us. We've got Joe, Jay, Daryl, we've got Dave. Thank you very much. We've got Wow Drops as a guest as well. Whoever that is, but thank you very much for joining. You can come connect with us here on www.lldzzoom.com.au. Jade or Dave will drop that in the links in the comments there for you. And you're more than welcome to come hang out with us here and ask some questions. But tonight is all about Zoe from Learning Booster. And it's been my absolute privilege and blessing here to be able to introduce Zoe to this amazing community. And basically, we're celebrating tonight because we're officially launching on a platform called Shoply. We're going to unpack Shoply for you a little bit later if you don't know what that is. Essentially, it's an affiliate marketing platform, and we're able to, help hero makers like Zoe get access to communities just like this to be able to lock arms and partner and run together. And once you hear Zoe's story, you're going to probably want to connect with her and reach out and be part of her mission. But we're just going to have a bit of a conversation back and forth here. I'm going to interview Zoe, interview style. So for those of you who are attending the Zoom call, I'll just get you to mute yourself for now. We will do a live Q&A and interact. But also, can I get you guys to support the Facebook Live that's happening in the Facebook group there? Let me just grab the link there and put that in the Zoom chat for you. You'll see the Zoom there. Go and give us a few comments and show us a bit of love because that'll help boost up the algorithm and get us a bit more reach. So you'll see there in the Laptop Lifestyle Dads group. So Zoe, welcome to the call. It's an absolute pleasure to be able to introduce you to this amazing community. I love you to do your little bit of own introduction, from overcoming your own learning struggles to unlocking potential in yourself and for others. And I love you to share your story with the world. So let's kick things off with a bit of a fun one. Growing up, were you a kind of kid who loved school or couldn't wait for the bell to ring? Which kid were you? Did you love school or you couldn't wait for the bell to ring? Well, which one were you?
Hi, everybody, and thanks for joining us tonight. It's lovely to see all these faces. I was the kid that couldn't wait for the bell to ring. I was a bit of a daydreamer and used to get told off a lot for daydreaming. And I was the kid that just couldn't relate to the classroom particularly well. I had learning difficulties myself. I had a terrible lisp, which I've worked really hard on, and it only comes up when I get tired now, thank goodness. I can notice it happening a little bit when I get really tired. But I had a lot of difficulties when I was learning, and I think maybe, it had something to do with my creative mind. Maybe I didn't want to sit still, and I didn't want to have my hands in my laps, and I didn't want to be doing what everybody else was doing and all that sort of stuff. So, yeah, I was definitely the kid waiting for the bell to ring.
I could definitely relate to that. I left school at year 9 because I just didn't enjoy school whatsoever. But what inspired you to start Learning Boosters? And was there a defining moment or student that has got you lit up like a fire and you just have to, do what you do and, spread this out with the world and the world just has to have this? So what inspired you to start Learning Boosters?
I think a couple of things. So the first thing was spending 20 odd years in this current system. Being a teacher on the coalface, really, really wanting to help those students who were struggling because I could relate to that. I'd been there myself. And finding it, the time in the classroom to really help those kids that were struggling was difficult to find. And just could see so much potential in these kids, but the system and having to sit still and stuff like that just wasn't their bag, you know?
Yeah.
And I got frustrated with the system. I was told by a few principals that I was too creative with my teaching, believe it or not. Yeah. Even though, you know, my class had the best scores as far as literacy went and all this sort of stuff, that didn't seem to matter to this particular principal. But anyway, it's another story. Yeah, how dare I be so passionate? Exactly, Daryl. It's like, yeah, right, whatever. And I just got really disillusioned with the whole system, and having seen myself, gone through it myself, and then really feeling for these kids in my classes at different age groups, because I was teaching from kindy to, you know, grade 10, basically, and some college as well. Although college is a bit of a different kettle of fish there. I just really felt for these kids, and I thought, what can I do? How can I use my own story to help these kids? And that's where Learning Boosters it's had a few evolutions. So it's called Learning Boosters now. It was called other things before. Because it's been a learning journey for me too. I've never had my own business before, and I've had Learning Boosters now for 10 or so years.
They say the fastest journey to growth is go start a business, right?
Yeah, that's true. And you use lots of different intelligences to do it. But that's my real reason. And just seeing these kids struggling, and kids with, you know, that had ADHD and stuff, and what could I do in my classroom to help that child feel like, you know, they weren't dumb and they weren't different and all those sorts of things. How could I help them feel empowered and feel, you know, for want of a better word, normal? I know there's no such thing as normal, but to make it a word that people can relate to. And then I just was so disillusioned with the current system that I just decided to do my own thing, really. And at that time I was doing an education program for a children's home, and running that, and I just thought, you know, I could do this myself.
Yeah,
so that's where it came from.
I love the heart and I love the passion to be able to help, you know, kids find their normal and learn their way. Like, you've worked in music, you've worked in creative arts and mainstream education. So how did that mix of experience shape your unique approach to working with kids?
Oh, that's a really good question. I think it goes back to my own story as well, because that's a really, I mean, how do you answer that? I don't know. It's like through osmosis. It's like I try things with the kids, and I would say to the kids, oh, that doesn't work, does it? And they go, nah, and I go, okay, well, let's try this. So there was a lot of creative changing of things in the actual session, and the kids learnt that it's okay to make mistakes.
I love that willingness to. I love that willingness to make mistakes. I love that willingness to embrace the messy and to adapt and pivot. You know, and that's lessons to self.
Kids, and I will say to some of my parents, I don't know, I don't have that knowledge, but you know what? I know someone who can help me find out where to find that knowledge, so I can help you.
Yeah,
because I'm not an expert in everything, and I never pretend to be.
No, but I love that. I love that humility.
The problem with a lot of teachers these days is they feel like they have to be an expert on everything. Every little thing that you know, disability or difficulty a child may have, they feel like they have to have the answer there for it, and of course they don't. They're like doctors. Doctors don't know everything.
Yeah, but that's
and it's a really good lesson to show the kids that we don't know everything. I can help you this far, and now I'm going to go and learn myself and research myself so that I can help you further. So there's been a lot of learning and a lot of integrating stuff that I would never thought of integrating as well. Because the child has come to me, or the parent has come to me and said, my child has this difficulty. How can you help me with it?
Yeah. I love that. And there's some humility around that, and removing the ego just to make the child front and center and make them the most important person in the room, right? And so your tagline is about unlocking potential and creating a love of learning. So what does that look like in practice?
So the first port of call with any new client is I usually talk to the parent or guardian, because I do work with kids that aren't in the home, that have guardians, they're wards of the state.
Mhm.
So the first port of call is a phone call. So it's just like a chat, just like we're having now, basically. And I ask them, how can I help? That is my first question. How can I help you? And I will listen to the story. I will listen to what they are telling me. I will listen to the opinions they've been given from other sources, such as school and whatever the specialists that might be working with the child. And then I will say to them, this is what I'm hearing. This is how I think we can help. How about we have you and your child come in and we'll do what we call a discovery session.
Mm.
In that session, I will give the child something to do in the subject, like maths or English, at grade level, at where they're expected to be at, if they're in grade 4 and we're into nearly third term, where I'd expect them to be at, as well as the year below. So I can compare those and see where they fit.
Mm.
Sometimes parents and guardians will send me psychologist reports, school reports, all that sort of stuff. So from that, I can get an idea that, such and such is 2 years behind. So I'll adapt to suit that.
Yeah.
So it's just a matter, it is a little bit of pen and paper stuff. And I often say to the kid, this is the boring stuff. I need you to help me help you.
Yeah.
And what I need you to do is this for me.
Mm.
I know, it's, and you're just going to do it and do your absolute best that I know you can do. And that's all I need from you today. Then I'm going to have a chat with mum or dad or guardian or whoever it is.
Yeah.
So
I love that
that's
approach.
what I do.
Yeah. So many kids feel like they're the bad kid at school. So how do you help rewire that mindset?
That takes a lot of time, a lot of patience, a lot of listening. Sometimes in the sessions, we won't do the subject that they've supposedly come for.
Mm.
Because when a child is feeling dumb, self-esteem is gone, they're in a space of trauma, the neuron pathways that we use to learn stuff actually break down. They don't connect. So when a child is in trauma or thinks ill of themselves, they can't possibly learn.
Yeah. All up in their emotions.
So a lot of what I do is also psychology behind why they're having a difficulty, or in some cases a disability, and I can give them, who to refer them to, give them ideas on who to go to, because I'm not a specialist in that regard. I'm a specialist in how children learn and how to help them, open that up to them, to an interesting, exciting, empowering learning journey. So, quite often the sessions will be, well, I know you're thinking this, you're feeling this, and you want to do this. And they go, how do you know? And I go, because I've been where you are.
Yeah.
And they go, oh, you have not. You know what you're doing, da-da-da. I said, yeah, but when I was your age, I didn't know what I was doing. And I didn't have the help that I want to give you.
So there's an intimacy there, right? You help your student feel like they're seen, valued, known, and loved, but also positioning you as the guide, not necessarily as the expert. I love that approach.
Yes.
Yeah.
And not their friend.
Yeah.
That's the other thing.
Yes.
I'm not their friend.
No.
I'm there to help them and give them
really boundaries
that they need to believe in themselves, because once they did, and also I find not only do I work with the kids, but I'm also working with the parents as well, because by the time parents come to me in lots of cases, they don't know what to do. Schools are given funding for these particular things, but they have to jump through so many hoops and prove, before they get the help they need. And I quite often have parents that are crying and all that sort of thing. And so I work with the parents as well as the child.
Yeah.
And you know what else, Jeff? I actually do work with adults. I've had plumber, electricians, nurses, kids wanting to get into the conservatorium. I had someone come to me and say, I want to go on Voice Australia, make me a star. And I'd go, well, let's see what you've got first. So I do quite a lot with adults as well as kids. Yeah.
I love some of the comments that are coming through, like this must give the kids so much confidence with this approach. And another comment comes here is you've been in the trenches, so you've been relatable for the children and you're meeting people where they're at. Like, I love that. And you talk a lot about addressing emotional barriers and to learning, right? So can you explain how that shows up and how you work through it with kids with their emotional barriers?
Okay. I'll give you an example because this is one of the most traumatized kids I've actually ever worked with. There's two major stories, but I'll tell you one. She's in grade 9. She wants to be a paramedic. That's all she's ever dreamed of. Mum gave me stories of her with a little doctor's bag and everything when she was younger. She didn't want to be a doctor. She wanted to be a paramedic. Year 9, failing maths, failing English. Two important things to have apart from biology and things like that, for paramedics. She came in and she was looking what I would describe as wilted. She literally sat there
Just
like this.
defeated.
Didn't speak, was very introspective, very protecting herself. So I watched them come up the driveway because I quite often, when I have a new student, will observe where they can't see me, because it can also tell you a lot about the relationship with the parent.
Yeah.
And do I need to ask the parent to wait outside while I'm talking to the child? How do they relate to the parent? Or are they happy for the parent? Because some parents can want to take over and answer everything.
Yeah.
Say, hang on, can I hear such and such I want to hear it from such and such. We'll have a chat later. But this poor girl was totally wilted. And I sort of deduced from her that she was doing too much. She got sick often. Mum had her to psychologists and all sorts of things. They couldn't really work out what was going on. And the mother was an A-type personality. So A-type personality, very strong, have an opinion, da-da-da-da-da. So I had to say to Mum, look, would you mind sitting outside just while I talk to such and such for a while? And then I'll get back to you. Is that okay with you? Oh, I suppose. So she went outside and I closed the door. And I said to the daughter, okay, give me your story. And of course, it took me a bit to draw it out of her with questioning and stuff and reassuring her that anything I was going to say was not going to go back to Mum, and making her feel safe and secure.
A safe environment, yeah.
Yep. And then I found that she was doing, so we got a schedule out, and I said, okay, tell me what you're doing. This poor kid had 36 hours of extracurricular activities.
No, I don't know any adult that has that.
In school.
Wow.
I said to her, I'm so sorry, I'm feeling really emotional for you. I feel like crying. No wonder you're struggling. I said, none of this is your fault.
Yeah, that's extreme.
And of course, she cried and she released a lot. And I said, okay, thank you for sharing that with me and sharing your story with me. What do you want to do? And she went, oh, no, I can't drop anything.
That's probably the first time someone ever asked that question.
Yeah. So we eventually found out that she loved doing two particular things, which took 3 hours a week, extracurricular. I said, okay, let's do a new schedule. She's going, no, Mum won't. And I went, you leave that with me. Don't you worry about that. You just leave that with me. So then it was time for swap over. So I had the child or the young lady go and sit outside and Mum come into the room and I closed the door. And I said to her, are you aware that such and such is doing 36 hours of extracurricular? I want child to have everything. I want her to experience everything. And I said, that is fantastic. Kudos to you. That's brilliant. But you've come here for my professional opinion on what I see and what I think is happening. Is that right? Because I always ask for,
Pre-frame, yeah.
What I'm saying.
Yep.
She goes, yes. I'm a professional. I understand. I said, right, this is what needs to happen. She needs to cut out X, Y, Z. She needs to be doing these. She needs to come to me for tutoring twice a week, once for maths, once for English. And we're going to do this for the rest of the year. This was early term 1. And she just blasted me. And I just sat there quietly because I pretend I put on a little suit, protective suit. And I said, thank you for sharing that with me. However, if you want what's best for your daughter, and that's what I'm hearing what you want, this is what we need to do. Do you want to go away and think about it? No, I don't know. So it ended up that she did that. She took my advice. She did what her daughter wanted. And by term 4, she was up to level. She was a couple of years behind. Up to level, just
Wow.
up to level. She was a different girl. She'd come in energized. She hadn't been sick that year.
Wow.
That's one of my major primary stories that,
What I love about that
my
story,
heart,
Zoe, is the fact that you identified the overwhelm in that space, but then you made a stand not just for the student, but you also made a stand for the mum too. Like,
that's hard to do though, Jeff.
I can see that. That's hard. That'd be
When you've got that
really, really
very
hard.
powerful professional person, parent that has an opinion and
Yeah.
they want to stick to it. And she'd drop her daughter off to tutoring every twice a week, but she wouldn't talk to me after that.
Oh no, I bet you. But yeah. But the fact that you made that stand is what gave that space for that breakthrough to happen. I really do believe that.
Yeah.
It seems to me that you don't just teach subjects, you help instill, empower, and teach confidence, and that's powerful.
Yes.
But
it's not only working with the child, it's also working with the parent.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
It's a partnership.
And working on their level as well.
Yeah.
And not taking offence to whatever they might say.
Yeah, and that's hard to do sometimes too. We
I
are
did go and have
human.
a stiff drink that night, and I was a bit sort of...
I'm sure you did. All right, well, it's time to get into the nuts and bolts of all this. So what subjects and age groups do you love to work with? Are there any services most people don't expect a tutor to even offer?
Oh, I don't think that the parents expect me to be so inclusive. I think they're used to going to a firm that just works with a child. I often message them, I often email them, I'll say such and such had a great session today, or such and such was a bit off today. I thought I'd just let you know they've been crying so that you're aware, whatever it might be. I don't think they expect to be so included.
That level of attentiveness, yeah.
Which is what I call my glitter. It's something extra you give to the family, not just to the child you're working with. As far as age groups go, I teach up to grade 8 maths, and then I have someone in my team who actually teaches what I call the more highfalutin maths. I can do it, but I don't like it. So I've got someone else to do that.
Yeah.
English right through. I've done some dissertations with university students to kindies who are having trouble recognising their vowels. So, it's whatever is necessary, and I adapt my teaching to suit the students. So if they work visually or orally or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Some kids are just tactile, so I use manipulatives and things, like I use Lego to teach fractions and stuff like that.
Yep. And is there any subjects you don't teach?
Well, it's mainly maths, English, and music that I teach that are part of Learning Boosters. I did have a teacher that was teaching ancient history and geology, but they're no longer with us. So yeah, it's just the maths, English, and music.
Yeah, the fundamentals, right? So
Absolutely.
we definitely need those skills. So you support kids with learning difficulties and gifted kids as well. How do you tailor the sessions for such a wide range of needs?
Well, it's individual tailoring.
Mm.
So I'm pretty intuitive, so I can pick up pretty quickly where a child's at, what their personality is, the way that they actually learn. It's very rare that I need to change that, because some kids will come and they will be closed down and they will be what I call closeted, and it will take a few sessions to get the information you need to be able to find the right fit for them. And I will try, as I said earlier, I'll try things and I will adapt it to suit them, and I will, say to them, look, that's not working, let's try this.
Yeah. So I love that story that you shared about with a Year 9 student. Have you got another story or another student that you can share, the story that they left a mark on you? Maybe it was
Yeah.
a kid who made a breakthrough moment or something like that. What
Yeah.
would that story be?
I had a grade 1 student, so 6 years old. He was at a particular school, ward of the state, incredibly traumatised. I'd worked with him for quite a while, and then the school were going to what's the word? Not dispel.
Expel?
Sorry,
Expel?
expel. Thank you,
Expel, yeah.
Daryl. Couldn't think of that one. We're going to expel him. Now, he'd been expelled from four other schools in
Yeah, wow.
southern Tasmania. So I went in to see the principal and say, this can't happen. He's got to be given, I'll work with him more intensely. We'll work on, capacity building stuff, behaviour, whatever is needed. I found out from the child, because of course I always find out the story from the child, and then I check the story, because, we can all tell stories, can't we?
Mm.
It's whether they're true or not's another thing.
Yes.
And what I was finding was that he was being blamed for a lot of things that happened in the school because he was a ward of the state.
Mm. Yeah.
And I heard 2 teachers mention it in talking to them. Yeah, an easy target.
Mm.
Yep. And so my mothering hackles got up, didn't they? And, was just saying, well, this is not on. I'll take this higher if I need to. And the principal, of course, was feeling very threatened, as he should. Excuse me.
I can just see the mother hen coming out.
Wanted to check my credibility and, all the rest of it. So I said, go ahead, check it all out. That's fine. I'm credible. I've been working with this child for a year now, and I've never had any difficulties with him when I'm working with him, never had any behavioural issues, and I don't think that this is fair, and I will take it further if need be. So I went and worked with him for 2 hours a day, every day, and tried to re-educate a few of the principal people that were working with him. Let's just put it that way. I've got to be careful about what I say here.
Yeah, of course. And respect the boundaries around
like that. The teacher's aide, the principal to a certain extent. I had to find those people that were on his side so that they could jump in when I wasn't there if need be. So there were big meetings with different factions. It was a bit like, being in the schoolyard yet again, but with adults.
But
and we kept him there.
Yeah.
We kept him there. It took a lot of work, and I loved my school holidays because I was exhausted, but we kept him there. He's now in grade 4.
Yeah, wow.
And he's doing brilliantly.
Wow. Well,
I talked to the department about actually changing schools as well.
Yeah.
And finding a better fit for him.
Well,
which we did.
Well done. Like, it's that's what makes this all worthwhile. The stories like this, when we do things like that. But that takes the extra X factor, right? To go and run that extra mile, because I'm sure not every tutor, not every teacher would go that far for someone. And that just goes for your heart.
The thing is, Jeff, that I only work with him twice a week now, 2 hours a week. And when he sees me, I literally have to plant my body side on, because he throws himself at me.
You
like
become
run nothing. Oh my God, here he comes.
you become his
and he will run full pets, and he'll just throw himself at me.
I love that. But
So
it sounds like
I
you've
love
become his
that.
safe person. You're his safe person to be able to do that. That's great. I love it.
Yeah.
So you've partnered with organisations like Life Without Barriers and Ronald McDonald's learning programs. How did that all come about?
Get it? Osmosis. I
Yeah.
had a couple of psychologists who saw me at this particular home that I was putting together the learning program for, and they went, these people need you, and these people need you, and these people. And so I reached out to them and I said, such and such has recommended that I get in touch, blah, 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 blah. This is what I do. Left it with them for a while. And then they came back, and it's just gone from then. I've never done any marketing, Jeff. It's word of mouth, which is I just find fantastic.
No, I love that, and I love that we're going to talk about a little bit about the future vision for what we've got for Learning Boosters, because I really do believe that not just your local area needs this, the world needs this, or at least Australia anyway. And we'll conquer the world one day, but we want to go expand to Australia. But how is working with kids in foster care and challenging home situations? How's that really shaped your view of what education really needs to be in today's world?
Oh, that's an interesting one. That's like another whole 5-hour lecture.
Did I open up a can of worms, did I?
Not lecture, sorry, didn't mean that word, but anyway. Oh wow. Holistic. You've got to look not only at the child, but you've got to look at the family. You've got to look at the environment where they learn best. Most kids learn best in an outdoor, nature-based environment. Like quite often when kids come for tutoring and it's a nice day, we'll go and sit out in the garden and do tutoring.
Be a little bit more fluid.
I'll wheel my piano out so we can do some singing outside rather than in a room with 4 walls and a window and all the rest of it. And I just think it has a lot to do with the different frequencies that we get from a situation, so the different vibes we get off different situations. So it's how you greet them, it's how you listen to them, it's how you talk to them, it's the environment that's conducive to them, basically. A lot of kids need to be able to let off steam, run around, investigate, find things, pull things apart, all that sort of stuff, which I think because of the current system was, as we all know, it was first designed for industrial reasons to get readers and writers, for workers.
Factory workers.
Great, but it does not fit these days. And there's some fantastic countries that are doing shorter hours and shorter bursts of, they do like an hour and a half of work, and then they go and play in the garden, or they go and help in the food garden or something, and then they come back and do
I love what Sweden's doing. They only basically
yes, exactly. They are one of the countries. Yep. Yeah. And there's a few great schools in Queensland that have started to do this sort of thing as well, and using AI as the tool, not sitting a kid in front of a computer trying to do stuff they don't understand, but the AI is actually used to develop a program for them at their level and extend them if need be.
Yeah, like my 12-year-old son, he is playing around with AI. He's creating this music song and, putting together his own song, his own lyrics, and he's using AI to support him on that. And it's a beautiful song. And, he's 12.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
I think the environment needs to change. It's very institutionalized. And I'm not saying that education hasn't developed, because in some ways it has. And there are those schools that are doing great stuff. Yeah. But I think the environment needs to change quite a bit. Yeah. So that we're getting to all kids. We're not just getting to those kids that can fit into a system.
Yeah, I agree with that. And for me, it's looking at, as a parent and I was a bit of the kid that got bullied and left school early and all that sort of thing. So, I've got all my own stories for why I don't like school. But looking at it as an adult now, I really feel like what's got us here is not going to get us where we need to be. It's worked for a season, but it's not working anymore. And it needs to revolve. Yeah. So looking ahead, what's next for Learning Boosters? Let's paint the picture 5 years from now. How would you love to see Learning Boosters grow? What's the impact on around Australia? What's next for Learning Boosters?
I'd like to be a bit of an interrupter. I would like to be able to see all kids thriving in an environment that's not institutionalized.
Mm,
And I would like to replicate myself, basically. So I'm looking for people who are of the same mind, who would like to come into this journey with me. I'm not going to give you stuff and just say, bye, see ya, but actually develop something together with me, and let's interrupt and change things, disrupt it
mm.
together. That's what I'm looking for. So I'm actually looking for facilitators that are interested in doing what I'm doing and how I do it, bringing their own stories and their own way of doing things into. I'm not going to dictate to them, this is how I do it and this is how you will do it. Absolutely not. But to develop something together would be great, because I'm it at the moment.
Yeah. So having a mission to disrupt the education to help, learning boosters do what it does best, and having other facilitators to be part of that. Like, you need an army. You need an army to go do what you want to do. It's bigger than you, that's for sure. So do you see this growing into group programs, online offerings, or wider partnerships?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And that's starting now. I've got some things that are going to be available on Shoply. Well, actually are already available on Shoply.
Yeah, we're gonna talk
And I
about
want
that in
to
a second.
develop that. Yeah, I want to develop that that platform. But I also want to develop the more individual one-on-one face thing. It's
Mhm.
not just about money. It's not just about getting a whole group of kids together that are kind of on the same level and giving them the same thing to do. That's what we do at school.
Mm.
The program I'm looking at developing is very individualised. We can use AI to do that, and we can just create totally different environment so that everybody feels valued, they can feel empowered, they feel excited about actually learning.
Yeah. So, looking at other partners and facilitators to come join you in that space, what sort of qualifications or expectations around that for them? What do they need?
People that are aware of curriculum and what curriculum means in relation to the kinds of learning kids need for jobs in the future,
Mm-hmm.
not just jobs that we have now, because I think things are going to change a lot in this world, and I think they're starting to change a lot in this world, and I think we have to be ready to adapt. So people that
Of course.
have an interest and know about curriculum.
Yeah. We can't ignore it. AI is going to transform and disrupt the world in itself. It already is. And, there will be jobs
absolutely.
lost. There will be jobs lost because
Yes.
people don't embrace it and learn how to pivot and adjust.
Yep. But I think there's a lot of fear based around the AI because it's an unknown, you see.
Of course.
And I would need somebody who understands AI and how to form curriculum using AI. I think is going to be the way of the future.
Mm-hmm.
And not giving a kid a computer and going, here's your AI program, off you go.
No,
But
not at all.
interacting with the
It's that
child to
partnership.
make sure it's the right thing and all that. And that is going to be an individually based thing.
Well, I
It's
love
not
what
going
you're
to be a
talking
group.
about with your learning style, that you're willing to make mistakes and pivot and adjust, and that's going to have to be the same pattern moving forward, just using the
The
tool.
kids have to know that, because that's what you do in the world. You know, not everything's going to run smoothly and be what you want it to be in the world. You have to learn to change and adapt and all that sort of thing.
Definitely.
So, yeah, definitely someone AI curriculum based, somebody who's interested in the administration side of it, things like invoices and appointments and all that sort of stuff. So I can get into the creative thing and not be at my desk doing my admin like I do.
Admin genies, they're out there. We all need them.
Yeah. Well, I need one.
Yep. Some people love that. No, I don't.
Just people with understanding, I guess, child psychology. I haven't done a course in psychology, but I know a lot about the brain and how it works, and what's the best thing for when a child's traumatized, or what's the best thing for if they have ADHD, those sorts of things. So somebody in that area would be good too. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, if you're watching this, on our Facebook Live, or you're watching the replay later, or you're here with us now, and you know somebody sort of who fits that description, please do reach out to myself or Zoe, and we'll connect you, and we'll get you. We'll have a conversation and see how to explore it works and see if it's a fit. But
Yes, please.
we're gonna walk you through later on, before we wrap up this call tonight, on how you can become an ambassador for Learning Booster as well, as part of our affiliate program that we're launching with partnership with Shopley. And you could just be a mum and dad, and you love what Learning Booster has to offer, and you want to be able to spread that with your circle of influence. Well, through that that referral, you can get incentivized for that, and we're going to walk through that in a second. But coming to a question for our parents listening, and our listeners and our audience here. So for parents listening, who feel their child is struggling, what's the first thing that you would encourage them to do?
Well, my first suggestion would be, if they're not getting what they feel they need for their child from their school, the school is the first port of call still, unfortunately. Or if you're looking for an alternative, go to my website. You can book a free call with me. There's no cost involved in that, right? We can have a chat about what you are feeling, the things that your child needs. And we can take the discussion from there as to whether we do the discovery session and the regular tutoring and all that sort of thing. But not only do we have one-on-one tutoring, but we also have packages of tutoring sessions, which I designed specifically for the child, on how they learn, at the pace they learn, what they need to learn. And we also have booked in that package. We also have sessions with me.
Yep.
Whether it's online or face-to-face, in person. I do online as well. Regular updates with parents, all that sort of stuff. Toing and froing of information, and toing and froing of stuff to get the kid to do. Back to me, I have a look at it, I adjust things. So there's some packages that are available that are self-paced as well.
Yeah. Well, and whilst we're on this topic, I'm just going to share my screen, and we'll get everybody to walk them through. Right now, we've actually got a competition running, and you can come on here and enter one of 5 discovery tutoring sessions here. We were going to draw that tonight, but we've decided to be gracious and extend it, give it a bit more time. And so you can come and jump in here and actually get one of those discovery calls, and we'll be probably announcing that at the end of this month. So I'll just drop that link in the comments for you there. Zoe, whilst I'm doing that, is there anything you want to just quickly mention around this offer?
Take it up, folks. You're getting it for free. Very lucky.
Yes. So get in and
it's discovery call with me, and then an actual discovery session. So the call is us chatting, me chatting with the parent, finding out what they think the child needs. And then the discovery session is me giving the child a few things to do, and then setting in motion a plan with the parent on whether we do the package, or whether we do one-on-one tutoring, or what we do. Or whether it's the times tables course that I've just put up on Shopley, or what it might be. So there's quite a few adaptations we can do to suit your budget, to suit your child.
I love that.
This is what you're getting for free. It's usually $160.
Yeah, cool. So we're going to give 5 lucky people a chance to win that, aren't we?
Yes, we are.
Awesome.
Yep.
So I want to introduce you to Shopley, guys. So Shopley is a platform for vendors like Learning Booster. And you can come in here, you can type in Learning Booster up at the products here, and it's going to bring you to these products. And so, Zoe, if you just want to quickly walk us through, this product here, what it's all about, how it all works. But whilst we're doing that, I just want to highlight the fact that here we go. You can actually become an affiliate for Learning Booster through Shopley. And if you were to refer this product on, so this is the 2 kids tutoring sessions. We do have the other one. There it is. Maybe I just need to refresh my screen. I was logged in.
It's just the course.
There we go.
Yeah.
Yep. So you can become an affiliate for Learning Booster here, and you can actually earn a commission. So when let's say you sell this to your friend, and that friend buys this because of your referral, Well, Zoe's going to get her piece to it, but then you as the affiliate will get $75 direct bonus on that. And so that'll be for that sale there for that one. But Zoe, you just want to quickly walk us through this online course that you've got here for us, the benefits of doing, times tables for kids.
Yep. Times tables really important skill to have even in this day and age. You use it on so many different levels. I was getting so many kids coming through who were frustrated and crying because they couldn't get it. This is a system that I've developed specifically myself to help a child have a very quick win. So the system that I use, I've developed myself, and it is basically an easy way for the child to learn their times tables. We don't do the 9 times 1 equals bit. It's done in patterns and number patterns. The 1 times 9 equals, that's just what I call busy work. That's a distraction. They don't really need to know that the first step in learning times table. They don't really need to know that. They need to know the pattern with numbers.
Mm.
So this course I've actually developed myself, and I've had great success with the kids. They are eager to do it because they're getting quick win and they're learning how the patterns of numbers and how numbers actually work together. I've had kids that are going, no, I'm not doing maths. I hate it. So I get them straight onto this. I go, okay, let's have a look at this. Well, let's do some patterns. I don't name it times tables or anything to start with, because as soon as they get that in their little heads, no. So
Get defiant.
So, yeah, very. We talk about the patterns to do with the numbers, and then I get them to write them down a couple of times.
Yeah.
That's the first step in the course. The next step is learning them out of sync. So I can say, okay, what's 8 times 5? And they'll go 40. And we do that through different games. We don't do that through just pen and paper stuff.
So you've gamified it a bit then.
And so that's how that course works. So there's 2 parts to it. There's 2 different packages. There's the package of just the course, and then there's the package that has included in it 2 sessions with me.
Yeah. So you can go and find them on Shopley. If you go to shopley.com and then just search for Learning Boosters, and you'll be able to find those products. And we've only just launched on Shopley, so there are going to be loads more products coming on there, and that's what we're just starting with. But that's a 12-week course. And you said you get 2 tutoring sessions there for the one that's the other offer there. That's for $800 US, and it's at your own pace. So actionable steps. You get to help you build your child's confidence. Understand how to use the stepping stones as Zoe just talked about, and learn those pattern tricks.
As Joe's just put there, learning with fun. Absolutely, learning has got to be fun.
Yes, making it fun.
Otherwise, it's just boring.
So if you've never heard about Shopley before, it's an affiliate ambassador program. It does have its other products on there that you can get access to. I'm actually a vendor on there myself. So if you want to learn all things about AI and marketing, then you can go check out laptoplife.dads. But we're here to celebrate Zoe today. So we're officially launching on Shopley. And so watch this space. But if you love the story that Zoe's had to share here, and you really just connect with the mission and the purpose that Zoe's setting out to achieve here, or if you're a parent and you've got a child who needs a tutor like Zoe, the one that will go the extra mile for you, the one that'll make a stand for you and the parent and the child, then reach out to Zoe and see how you can connect with her. And but if you just want to be someone who refers on, then you can be an ambassador as well. But also, for those of you who are interested in partnering with us, please do reach out. It could be as Joe just said, it could be a grandparent, it could be a gift for
Also, Jeff, if I could just add, also an adult going back into learning.
Yeah,
like
I love that
quite
idea.
a few nurses come to work with me because they've forgotten their maths and they need the maths to do the course. So there's that option as well. It's not just for kids, it can be for adults as well.
Yeah. So I'm going to drop the link in here whilst I'm doing that. Where can people learn more about what you offer? So I'm just going to drop it in, but if you just want to discuss, how people can find you, Zoe, that'd be great.
Yeah, they can find me online. So if you just Google Learning Boosters, or if you want the full thing, it's www.learningboosters.com.au. Now, there's lots of free resources on there too, and low-priced resources, as well as blog. I do a blog every month, and that comes out the first Wednesday of every month. And join us on the Learning Boosters community, because that's the space, really, if you want to just put your toes in the water to see what we're really about. And if you've got questions to ask me, you can do it anonymously if you feel you need to. And I will get back to you and I will answer those questions. I might give you a reference to go to, a blog that I've written that might help. Have a look, because there's free stuff as well as courses, as well as the discovery call you can get on with me. So the website www.learningboosters.com.au is the place to go for all information.
Absolutely love that, Zoe. And if someone's still sitting on the fence, you know, like they might be a little bit skeptical or just unsure, what would you say to them?
I would say there's two things you can do. One is you can go to the website and book a call with me and have a chat with me and ask me your questions. I will answer them honestly and as best I possibly can and support you in the best way I can. The second thing that you can do is that you can go into our Learning Boosters community Facebook page and ask your question there. As I said, anonymously if you want to, and I'll get back to you on that.
Brilliant. And as we wrap up this interview, we're going to just quickly open it up for a little bit of Q&A here for people who are joining us here now, Zoe and Joe, and, you know, final words of encouragement. But for our audience that's listening and people watching the replay, any last words of encouragement for the parents or even the educators tuning in?
On my part, there is no incrimination, no, can't think of the word I want at the moment.
Discrimination.
Discrimination, thank you. There's no, I won't judge you at all. Thank you, Daryl. I don't know where my words are today. Not with me. Judgment, I won't judge you at all. So please, if you are sitting on the fence, as Jeff said, and you're really anxious about your child's learning development, please get in touch. I'm happy to help.
And that's the thing, right? It's just get in touch. It's connect. It's have a conversation, and it's just meet each other where they're at. And I love that you're so approachable, and you're so humble, but you're also there to just be of service. You are what I call, as a definition, a hero maker. You're there to help make other heroes, not just be the hero. You're there to make other hero makers. And
Absolutely.
And that's what the world needs more of. We need more people like you and I who are out there creating other heroes and other hero makers, and not being the hero of the story. You know, getting rid of our ego, meeting people where they're at, and just being of service. This is what I call servant-hearted leadership. And you ooze that. You're like every fiber of your being, Zoe, and that's why I think I'm so attracted to the conversation myself. It's because you're just here to be of service. It's not faked, it's genuine. And I just love your authenticity, your integrity, and everything that you have to offer. So thank you very much for just allowing us to get to know you and your mission and vision for Learning Boosters, and just sharing that with our audience today. Whilst we open it up now, we're just going to open it up for a bit of open mic Q&A. So Daryl, Joe, and for everybody else who's here live with us, do you have any questions for Zoe?
Please fire away.
It's Joe here.
Questions? Hi, Joe.
I just popped in the comments about the homeschooling parents would actually love what you have to offer, I feel.
Yeah.
Yes, I have worked with quite a lot of homeschool students and families. Because of the rules and regulations about homeschooling, I can actually help them navigate all that stuff as well, because there's not just the teaching of the child, but it's the proof that you have to give to the homeschooling association and all that sort of stuff as well, that I can help them negotiate as well. So yes, Joe, thank you for the question.
Oh, awesome. Thank you.
Brilliant. So Daryl or Joe or anybody else who's live with us, any other questions? Wow Drops, I'm not sure who Wow Drops is, but thank you very much for tuning in.
No, I just want to say thank you on behalf of our future leaders and heroes for the great work you're doing.
Thank you, Daryl.
Yeah, well said, Daryl. It is, and that's what this is about, right? It's about legacy type impact work. So I'm just looking at our comments in our group. Dave Miller says, vote 1 for Zoe. We need more people like you.
Oh no, Dave, no politics, please. No, not my kettle of fish. Sorry.
Not mine either. But this has been absolutely good. People are saying they've just enjoyed your story, Zoe. And yeah, homeschooling would be awesome. And absolutely incredible. So, guys, thank you very much for tuning in. If there's no more other questions, make sure that you reach out to Zoe. Make sure you enter the competition. We're going to extend that to the end of July and give you the chance to win one of five discovery sessions. And so they're valued at $160 each. You get to be able to spend some intimate time with Zoe and explore what that looks like to have a term with Zoe and explore what that looks like for those next steps. But I'm sure there's loads of value just in that conversation there to, figure out point you in the right direction, figure out what, learning styles your children has or how you could be supporting your children, whether you decide to move forward or not after that discovery session. Anyway, thank you very much for your time. If you're looking forward to being an ambassador and you're not a part of the Shopley community yet, please reach out to the person who's invited you to this conversation with the Shopley ambassador to get introduced to Shopley, and then they'll set you up with a Shopley account, and then that'll allow you to become an ambassador for people like Zoe that are on Shopley. And then there are over 200 other vendors on there that you can go support as well. But this is what it's all about. It's about supporting hero makers like Zoe and creating an affiliate army around businesses like Learning Booster. So Zoe doesn't have to use good old things like Facebook ads. Facebook ads, right? You put your money into, you just don't know if they're going to work, but you still got to pay, Facebook and Meta, and it could be money down the drain. Well, here with the affiliate marketing model, we do pay out commissions, but we only pay out the commissions to the sales that have been made. So it's a win-win-win. It's a win for Learning Boosters, it's a win for you, and it's a win for the Shopley community because we're all growing together. So if you'd like to learn more about that, reach out to the person who's invited you to the call. But thank you, Zoe, for being one of our newest vendors on Shopley and being a part of that vision, because that's how we're going to really support each other and run together. And
thank you, everybody, for joining us.
Yeah. Do you have any other last words of wisdom before we wrap up, Zoe?
No, not really, but don't sit in if you're worried in your anxiety, don't sit in it. Get in touch.
Yeah, thank you. All right, guys. Well, that's all we have for tonight's call. And we will call that a wrap. And we'll be back for the next one soon. But bye for now.